Greetings, I'm Epictetus, and this is Epic Tech, and we are still at Midway Station, but we have some things to do. Primarily, we are going to be heading down to the planet today, and we're going to work on the station down there. But first, let me answer a couple of questions that have come up many times, not just in the comments of the last episode, but in several previous episodes. First, yes, I know that I can place a vent down on the planet and it will bring in oxygen and deliver it to anything attached to the tower. But the amount of ice and oxygen generators I have up at the asteroid base and down at the station is so ridiculously high that I don't care about wasting oxygen or getting free oxygen or any of that kind of thing. It's not even worth the metal to put it in. But thank you for the recommendation, and you are correct. Second, why don't I just lift the tower with pistons? That may have worked in the past, but pistons now have a maximum strength, as well as the fact that would go horribly wrong. It might be entertaining to try, but there's no way I could lift the tower at this point, and it's at a slight angle because of the way that I attached it initially, and there's just no way around that. The next one is, why not use merge blocks to merge the two parts of the tower together, or the three parts of the tower together, actually? The problem is there is a maximum coordinate size for every block. If I connect those pieces of the tower, I am basically guaranteed to corrupt my save file. Now, if you'd like to prove me wrong, feel free to download a copy of the world at the end of Season 2. You can find in, I can't remember if it's at the end of Season 2 or in Season 3, Episode 1. I have a link to the world at that point in the description. You can download it. You can give it a try yourself and let me know what happens. But from everything I've heard and researched, it would just basically destroy my save game. That's all it would do. It would not be able to handle it. Assuming it even managed to connect initially. Because merge blocks do several checks before they merge, and more than likely they would realize that the coordinates would not be allowed. Another one is, a lot of people are asking why. Why can't you use tires? Why can't you use wheels up against the tower? And it's complicated. Just having them static like this isn't going to really work, because everywhere there's a break or a modification in the tower, including any connectors like this one, when you hit them at a high speed, they just boom, bad things happen. So luckily, we've got this whole auto alignment system working, and it seems to be working very well. And I think we're just going to continue using that. I do appreciate the comments, by the way. Keep them coming. I just wanted to head off a few of the very common ones and answer them all in one shot. Don't be afraid to put in a crazy idea or an idea that I've heard before or anything like that. I have no problem with that. I actually really like, a lot of times people put in a comment that's been said 100 times before, but they say it in a slightly different way, and it triggers thoughts in my brains, and then cool things happen. All right, let's go. Disconnect. Oh, and I almost forgot. This is important. Where are all my hydrogen thrusters? Yes. So all the ones labeled up. Just going to call that up thrust. We need to be able to disable those because, as this comment pointed out quite rightly, when I was disabling the inertial dampeners in order to fall faster and without using thrusters, unfortunately it also was disabling the inertial dampeners for the automatic adjust, and that's not a good thing. So let's see, up thrust, there we go. So we'll disable it right here, and we'll just actually disable the thrusters that hold us up and down instead of the thing that we need. All right, let's do this. I'm going to keep an eye on that auto adjust, And let's just turn off the up thrusters. Let's keep an eye on this. Looks like it's doing a good job of staying nice and centered. Take a look through here. And we are falling. Looks like those adjusters are kind of doing their thing. That's good. Ooh, we are going very fast. We are currently falling at 150 meters a second. The auto adjust is doing its job. Constantly pushing it away. You can see it's actually oscillating a little bit more than I like. Ooh, and it's getting closer and closer to the tower each time. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do a full stop. That took a surprisingly short amount of time to stop. Ooh, and we're very close to another connection point, but that's okay. What I want to do, let's jump back over here. Oh, yeah. Let me hop out and let's realign. All right. So we still have 5 nines. That's interesting. I guess just at that kind of speeds, even that little tiny difference is going to make a big difference. Okay. Well, let's keep falling then. I'm going to watch the distance here. So let's go ahead and just... Ooh. Watching the connectors fly by at 100 and something meters per second is a little terrifying. 202 meters per second. That is scary. Seriously, that's just terrifying. Okay, we're going to come in a little bit slower from here. We are at full 1G for gravity. Looks like the sun is going down. Okay, I'm going to manually lower us because I don't want to come down too fast. I just realized those tires sitting there are actually going to be kind of handy. Slowly. And we are down. Let's set up a connector so that we can actually connect in. And we don't have to worry about oxygen anymore. So I'm just going to open up all the doors. Well, look at that. Can you believe it? We actually have an elevator sitting down here. I'm kind of excited about that. So now we need to make some changes. Oh, wait, I forgot. I need to turn on some power. Okay, and there's our connector. Igor, finish that up for me, please. Remember way back when we, when we were trying to use merge blocks all the way up instead of connectors? Yeah, that was silly. Igor. Are you going to do a thing for me? Another factory has this block as a target. Do you know what factory that is? That would be a factory up at up at the asteroid base. So we might be waiting a while for that one to come up. Luckily, we happen to have a spare connector right here. So we'll just go ahead and do this. It pushes the whole tower away. Yeah. And I want to set this. Confirm. And that should pull everything into place. Come on, you can do better than that. I want it to be nice and lined up. Yeah, that's pretty good. Good enough anyway. Let's lock it in. What? What just happened? What kind of crazy bug is this? Like, everything looks fine. Whoa. Okay, this is getting insane. Okay, stay nice and back. I'm just going to get to here. Where's the connector? SSD T connector. Unlock. Is it safe? Okay. What was that going on? I don't know why, but I have this hunch that these tires may be causing the issue. So I'm going to get rid of them. Okay, so these are now just being held up by the thrusters. So there's no connection other than the electronic or the magnetic force of that connector there. So shall we do this again? Wait a minute. Let me see something. That thruster is going wild. I think I know what's going on. SSDT connector. Unlock. Let me turn off the auto adjust thrusters. And let's try this again. Those should be completely off. Are we ready to die again? Here goes. Okay, there's a little bit of bouncing for some reason. I do not know why. Let's go ahead and turn off the downward facing thrusters now. So it's really just, it's the piston kind of doing its thing, which we had that issue before. Okay. For now, I think we're going to be okay. Okay, so now our hydrogen tanks should be refilling. Our battery should be recharging. What we need to work on now is a way for our guests, our, what do you call it? Not crew. Oh, hey, look at the new icons. Hydrogen bottles now have a little flame next to them. And there we go. Oxygen bottles have little bubbles next to them. Neat. Okay. So while I'm down in gravity, all I really need, I'll take 2 hydrogen bottles. Passengers. That's the word I was trying to remember. So if our passengers would have loaded in through this door up at Asteroid Base. But we're going to exit, I think, over on this side, maybe? No. Oh, now this makes sense. Let's turn this into a door. And then we'll set up some stairs. Or an elevator. Actually, an elevator would make a lot of sense. Oh, I also meant to say at the beginning of the episode that I've been getting a lot of requests or suggestions for, I've been getting a lot of suggestions for mods that would help with the alignment and all that kind of thing. And I think some people missed that this is a vanilla build. It's meant to be an entirely vanilla build with no, you know, I'm letting mods like Igor help me build it. But the elevator itself works completely without any mods. That's one key. I don't mind putting in an elevator here just as kind of the offload point. But As for the actual elevator itself, not so much. So 1, 2, I'm thinking that we're looking at, yeah, 3, 1, 2, 3. So this is a 7-block elevator here, if we use that. Yeah, that should work. Igor, are you going to help out? Thank you. I appreciate that. So now in theory, by the way, this mod's link is in my mod collection in a link in the description. All right, so now we're going to have a way to get from here to there. But one thing I'm thinking is when we're coming in for a landing, I want this to kind of automatically line up. So if I were to put in a block here, and then we'll probably have to lift this thing off the ground, but then we'll put in a couple of slopes that should kind of nudge it into the right position. And I'm probably going to set up something similar on all 4 sides. It'll just kind of help it get into position. Because you can see that it's very off-center here. I'm thinking a steel catwalk right there. So those tires were not the problem. I think I'm going to put the tires back because they are a nice way to catch this thing as it's coming down. Like that. That. There and there. So that should line it up vertically. And then let's see, we're too far that side, so I can go ahead and set up this alignment tower. And then turn off the thrusters. I'm a little bit nervous about this part. I think I might need to turn down the magnetic force on this one. Going to add another 0 back to that. So now it shouldn't be pushing very hard. Maybe even turn it off entirely. What if I do that? Strength disabled. So there's no magnetic force on this one. So now it's sitting comfortably in those cradles. It's sitting on the tires, though actually this tire isn't even attached. Look at this. This is like perfect alignment. It is just this little shaking thing going on, though. The question now, is the whole thing going to explode? I'm going to hit save. Is this whole thing going to explode when I hit the connector button? Let's find out. It's still shaking, but it seems okay. Okay, that's not bad. It's not good enough. It might be good enough for a normal elevator to kind of sit in this nice little cradle and have this little elevator there. It's cute. It's cute. But this is an elevator that goes up a 40-kilometer tower to an asteroid with a base in it. I mean, there's a base built into an asteroid tethered by a 40-kilometer tower. It can't just have a couple of little cradles. This has to have an absolutely amazing, I don't know, port. It needs to come down into something that is equally impressive. Okay, maybe not equally impressive, but more impressive than this. This is the bare minimums. So I need to add to this, and I think I have some ideas. Number one, this thing should cradle in all the way around. There we go. Oop. That's all the way around. Doing some serious shaking there. Not thrilled with that. Like, instead of just a little catwalk, I'd actually like to have a whole, I don't know, concourse. I think that's the word I'm looking for. That's what they call it in the airport when you're, like, waiting for your plane. There's some serious shaking going on in here. Oh. Disconnect the connector. Seems to help a little bit. Not a lot. I wonder... Ooh. Might have been some damage in there. Okay, let's take a look at the piston itself. I'm wondering if this shear inertia tensor would help. It might. Let's find out. Certainly not shaking as much as it was a second ago. Just a tiny, tiny amount of shaking. If we pick this up and fill in these spaces and try and set it back down, I'm not sure how well that's going to work. Plus we've got... Whoa, what was that? Okay, this might be a little too tight. I don't think it likes being caged in quite so much. It's one thing to be set in the little cradle down here. It's something else entirely to be, like, held from both sides. We're going to try not to get too close to it this time. I think I'm going to move the elevator back one. I'm going to have it right there. Perfect. That's interesting. Oh. Whoops. I almost feel like I want to have like a whole restaurant and stuff inside of that, but I don't think I'm going to go that far. I think instead I'm just going to kind of fill this in so it's actually, because the tires are good for setting the whole structure down on, but they're kind of ugly. The whole thing's kind of ugly. So I think I'm just going to kind of fill this in. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Okay, that's starting to look a little more impressive. Starting to. It's also starting to encroach upon some of my other things here. I think I might do a little bit of cleanup. Take this control tower, or control platform, whatever, and move it inside the actual docking bay. And maybe move this Igor over there somewhere. And I really need to do some stuff about some of these other things. Like this was a jetpack that kind of fell and broke, and I think we just need to take it apart. Is there anything in it? No. And then my lifter, which I don't really need anymore. It's storing a whole bunch of stuff, and I don't think I want to just take it apart. Let's see if we can get this thing flipped over. The gyros are working. That's good. Hopefully I don't break too much flipping it over. Nice and slow. Ooh. Okay, so this is where... Are the thrusters even on? No, of course they're not. Now they are. Okay. Oh, there we go. And... lock. There we go. All good. Tim? Are you doing anything? The spaceport Tim is off. MBT Tim, he's off. For some reason he thinks he's number 2. MBT Trailers number 2, and he's off. This one thinks it's number 4 for some reason. We're getting a new error message now. Script execution halted temporarily. The combined execution between a calling programmable block and this script became too complex. The script has not been terminated, but the calling script has. Okay. I'm going to turn off that one, and we're just going to turn on this one. What was that? Let's see if there's a new Tim on the workshop. There is not. It's saying that that's from April, so I don't think that's a thing. I think they broke Tim. Or I broke Tim. I don't even know. Oh well. We'll survive. I don't want people that are standing up here to be falling down. You know, falling off. You know what I mean? So we need to put in some windows. Or some railing. But my problem is I don't have railing that'll go on a diagonal like this. But I do have windows that will. But if I put windows here, then people could still walk out and fall off, you know. And people are dumb. It's just true. People will find a way to do dumb things. So I could either put in a catwalk with 2 sides like that, or which still, if the donut's not here, they could fall off the end. Or I could have sliding door. Yeah. And that'll also help keep, you know, regular passengers out of the maintenance area. So we can keep those closed and yeah. Okay, I like this. With those being there, I can actually place them up against that and give myself a little bit of space if I want to build anything here. I did something different on this side than I did on the other. Okay, I don't care. Shh, it's okay. Don't worry about it. Just don't worry about it. It'll be fine. Alright, just need to lift the thing off so I can put in those last few pieces there and on the other side. Ow. Came in a little fast on that one. I like this. We can walk all the way around. We can look at the whole thing from the safety of being behind this glass. Can wave to the passengers on board as they leave or as they approach. Hi, guys. Yeah. It's kind of making me feel a little bit like this elevator should be moved back one. Because it's kind of this a little bit narrow right here. But I might do that. But if I'm going to do it, I'm going to do it between episodes. Because I think that's about as much time as we have right now. I'm going to see if I can figure out what's going on with Tim. And I need to do some repairs and maybe some little moves, you know. I think I need to move Igor and move some of this stuff. But I'll do that between episodes. I think we've got a really good start here. I think it's just about done, honestly. I wouldn't mind making this look a little nicer. I mean, it's just kind of flat walls. Oh, lighting. That's another thing I need to do. We need to set up some really cool lights shining up the tower. Maybe from inside. Ooh. Like, what if we were to actually set up spotlights, like, right here and around? Oh, I want to do that really quick. Ha ha ha. I love it. Okay, you got to admit that's pretty cool, right? Also, I wanted to let you know a little bit about my future plans, because I don't know that I've mentioned where we're headed with all of this. The next few episodes are going to be the last. No, it's okay. Don't worry about it. It's a good thing. It's just a good thing. They're going to be the last in this series, not just this season, but this series. And we're going to start over. We are going to do a reboot. I'm going to actually, immediately after the end of this season and series, I'm going to be heading over to the Escape from Mars missions. Duckroll has made a beautiful scenario called Escape from Mars. If you've probably seen it. You've probably seen people reference it or seen other people play it. Or if you've watched this channel a lot, then you've seen Cosmic and I attempt it. We kind of made a mess of it. and it was fun. We goofed around. We had a lot of laughs. We did not do well at the scenario. There's no doubt about it. It was kind of sad from a competitive perspective, but it was fun. It was entertaining. But I want to give it a shot kind of in my own style, just by myself. I want to see what I can do with the Escape from Mars missions. I want to actually take it seriously. I want to take my time. I want to do it kind of the right way. Not the right way. That doesn't sound right. I want it to also be an edited series as opposed to streamed, which means that I can cut out some of the boring stuff. When I was playing as a stream, I kind of felt like I needed to keep going. We need to get to the next thing. I didn't want to stick around and kind of perfect things. With an edited series like this one, I can do some of the boring stuff and cut it out, and you don't have to sit there and watch it or speed it up, so you can kind of see the process without having to sit there and twiddle your thumbs. And then I'm going to do a complete reboot of the Space Engineers series. I'm going to start all over again. I'm going to put in some very different mods and things that I've never played with before. And I don't know. We'll see about what kind of start I want to do, like where I want to start, where I want to go from there. But that's down the road a bit. So my plan is that in order to wrap up this season, I'm going to take the space elevator and head back up to the asteroid base and maybe take a couple of quick trips up and down just to make sure everything's working smoothly. And then we're going to finish up the last little bits of the Cobalt Club, and I'm thinking about throwing a party. I'm not sure yet. I'm still kind of considering the reality of how that would work. But if I do, then I will be inviting my patrons. I'd love to invite all of you, but that would definitely crash the server. That would not work. There would be way too many. I'll also, as I always do at the end of a season, I will release a copy of the world so you can download it and you can ride the elevator all the way up and you can hang out in the Cobalt Club and all that kind of thing. But those plans are still formulating. I don't know all the details, and I'll let you know as soon as I know, basically. So I want to hear your comments. I want to know, what do you think of the idea of me doing Escape from Mars, of me rebooting the series, all that kind of thing. I'll let you know right now that continuing in this world is simply not going to happen for much longer, mainly because this world is becoming unstable. I've got so many scripts and crazy contraptions, and I do my best to clean things up and make it playable. But keep in mind that I am trying to play this at the highest quality settings so that you guys can see the best representation of what's on the screen and that kind of thing, as well as I'm recording it, which means that I've got a whole section of my computer that's doing other things, capturing it. So yeah, there are times that the whole world freezes up for a few seconds at a time, and I edit that out, and you guys don't see it. But it is becoming a problem. So it's time. I'm going to go ahead and end this episode now. As always, hit that thumbs up button. I really appreciate it. It actually helps quite a bit. As well as subscribe and come by the Discord server and all the other things. and I'll see you next time on Epic Tech.